right now, reflect and think about the nation you live in. And look at every nation has a story. You know, every nation. There's 180. There's Vanuatu. It's a beautiful one. They have the cult of Sir Charles something, the prince from England who's like 80, and they have a cult there that they think he's one of their ancestors, and there's videos of this in the 80s that he went, and they were like venerating him because they're like, oh, you've come back to us, and we all laugh at them and like, these primitives and their beliefs, but I think there's some truth to it. If I reincarnated and then I was like, shit, I have all this money, I live in this dystopia, but I'm really rich, fuck it, let me go visit my ancestors. Maybe that would be my belief. You figured it out, and then I think part of the nature of reflecting in the society that you come from is that sometimes we don't think that intelligent people lie in there because we think as the past is primitive and the future is intelligent. But I'm here to tell you that there are realities around you. If you look at my videos, I've always tried to make subtle connections. I try to say, look at that 80,000 vehicle defying the laws of gravity, with like 300 people flying through the atmosphere. You think that's normal? I think that's and don't get me wrong, I think humanity is the type of creature that's with time and patience and perseverance would have been able to acquire that form of transportation. It's in our destiny. I think it's even in our destinies to travel the stars. And I think something happened along the way to sped up your process. And I think like any you see a fruit on a tree, and see the fruit naturally ripens without artificial help from anybody. But unfortunately, people have I don't know, there's certain things that I feel like humanity won't be able to comprehend, or even if I was to tell you without you doing a lot of studying, and you can't fake it. Like you can't. If you were to be hired by NASA to, like, let's say right now you got a phone call by NASA, like, we chosen you randomly to come and help us build our spaceship, you're gonna look at them, and chances are 99% of I think out of the whole human population, a person, maybe Elon Musk could be one of those persons, challenge accepted, let me go so I like America, America's the kind of country where somebody like Elon Musk, I tell you all the requisites that you require to qualify as an astronaut. First, you need to have at least 10 years of military service in the Air Force. And you think the Air Force is the highest branch of the military. It's the hardest one. It's the one that's like, you were a pilot? Wow. And then the pilot's like, yeah, I was a pilot. And I'm not a military guy, but just from watching movies and like making assumptions, and like I think we're all warriors. I remember watching a documentary about Vice News before it was like, I don't know what the fuck happened to it, man. Before it became like, hey, let's get rid of all the darkness. All right, pure light. That's what happens. You're doing like Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse has good days and bet he has bad days. But when he's on screen, he's all good, and when he's bad, he's TMZ. Yeah. But reflect and. There's certain things that you will not be able to comprehend without the knowledge prior to it. Don't be offended. It's just there's different levels to this. There's certain creatures who, like, for example, an ant, he's happy in his place in the universe. He doesn't like, she's happy because the majority of the ant colony is women. Men only are there as penises, where they're like, like they just there and then they die. And there's a queen who's like, I'm not an ant person. It's probably even like a scientific name for that. Yeah. It's beautiful to see family randomly. But I tell you this, because my family just randomly drove by, and I think that's living in LA. That's very uncommon. Most people come here. They're like, I'll give you the example. This is the city of immigrants. Everybody. I'm second generation. And I don't know any fifth generation Los Angelinos. The only one that I could think of off the top of my head is Mario Garcetti. I think he's fifth or fourth. So that tells you a lot about his family. But yeah, uh, but just letting you know that there's certain things that I wish humanity or my brothers, and sisters would have, like, I could tell you, I'm gonna tell you an opinion, and there are people who are also of a high degree of intellect who have a different view than me, and of course I always felt like whenever you express an opinion over a source like this with your smartphone, because millions of people could see this, and sometimes you get lucky and you get randomly chosen by that algorithm, and then you get millions of people, and you like it or not, you became a fucking media sensation. You just made a random video, you never thought you would make millions of dollars, but boom, here you go. But and then it sucks because people usually get thrown into that situation haven't really studied film. They're like, fuck, what do we do now, man? And then they start making videos about random shit, like getting in car crashes and injuring your foot, which is nothing wrong with that. And I always felt what's most personal is most common too. So I think it's kind of cool, like, oh man, they're human like me. but there's many people who study art for a living, and they never get that amount of fame, and they're artists, they take this as a craft, and I know them. Some of them are actually my friends, and I live in the city where that's one of the main products that we were developing, and now that we have this very advanced technology within the palm of your hands, I feel like what can I tell you, a lot of the rules are changing. Unfortunately, a lot of the former business models that worked previously before the coronavirus, now it's a lot of these businesses have to adapt, unfortunately. It's very tough, and it's something you don't want to admit, but it's something where you're like, either that or you become Blockbuster, either that or you become Sears. And it's sad because those people, their names, they're not just companies, but there's people's lives, that were attached to that. So that's why when somebody says get rid of all capitalism, I'll tell you, take it one step at a time. Like, hey, if you just get rid of Target, then you get rid of my mom. She works there 9 to 5, and nobody is a millionaire in our house. We're all paying rent, paycheck to paycheck. So I feel like if you say get rid of government, defund everything, I feel like, to me, really contemplate that. You don't have to self-destruct the whole system. I feel like let the democratic republic be of existence. It is a democratic republic. It's not a one-party political system, and there are pros to one-party political systems, and I'm not one who is a support of it. So that's why it's not good just to hear one person's opinion. Take many person's opinion. Take Fox and take CNN. Take Breitbart and take Huffington Post, but they call it Huff now for some reason. Contemplate all of them, and then really you be your own judge. As a Baha'i, that's one of the main tenets in our faith: independent investigation of truth. And it was interesting because I don't really reveal people that on my spirituality, because I feel people, you say a random name like Joseph Smith, right? And then all of a sudden, like, I like South Park when they go dum da dum dum dum, they find the golden tablet inside. They said, and it's something where blessed are thee that have believe and have not seen, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. And but yeah, I guess the reason why I wanted to tell you is reflect on your nation, and see the people that built it, and see that there was a lot of horrors, but there was a lot of beauty, and it's complex, guys. I feel like there was a priest who wrote, and that's the interesting thing about Europeans. They took really well notes, and they wrote diaries, and some of them are painful. I never read the Christopher Columbus wrote a diary, and you really wish to understand, why people are so mad at the government that exists. Read that diary. It's written by Christopher Columbus himself, so you could see why people don't like him. And look, even me, I hate him that much, but I would never knock down his statue. You know, I won't. I don't. I believe that I'll be using the same energy that he used. What I would do instead, I would start a petition, you know. And I know that people are going to say, well, that's going to take forever. Well, these processes are going to take longer than your life, you know. You know, the injuries that happen within a mass society takes much longer time to heal, you know. Like, just like when you hurt yourself and you cut yourself, you know, it happened within seconds, you know. And I feel like the equivalent in terms of a planet or as a species, you know, when these kind of traumas happen, like a second in human years is like maybe a couple thousand in Earth years. Because remember, the Earth is billions of years old, right? So if you go to statistics, you could realize that we're just in the beginning stages of the healing process of what had happened in the past. And if you are right now in the protests destroying stuff, see, there's a difference. There's people protesting and legitimately believe that the police officers in the community, which until Rodney King, before then, listen to Richard Pryor, and you understand why. There's a lot of people within that side that are very upset and not even listening anymore because they felt they haven't been listened to. And this is the same people that James Baldwin referred to, that they're not. Martin Luther King and him, if they were lucky that that side of the movement had people of that degree and caliber of intelligence to guide the masses. But right now, I don't see a very powerful leader in that side. I see a powerful leader on the other side. And I don't want to say his name because there would definitely be very powerful intellects battling me. And not that I do welcome the battle, but I just welcome respectful differences. You know, I feel like if you come at me or like cussing at me and saying all these things that are rude and disrespectful, well, you know, even the Native Americans fought back. You know, we lost. I ain't gonna lie, we lost, but we fought back. And you know what? We buried General Custer with respect. I mean, I don't know. That's what I've been told. You know, the Native Americans beat, you know, these savages beat a very well-funded military, you know? And I think if you're a warrior, you know what I mean by this. You know, like, you have respect for your opponent. You know, I feel like, and then people laugh at these gender norms. You know, you're welcome to laugh at them, but I've always been of the opinion that gender norms should be respected, you know, but also should be understood when they belong to an outlier. Or, look, I'm gender not conforming. Oh, beautiful. Tell me more about you. So you're a Hydra? Oh, so Hydra's the third gender from India. How long have you guys been in existence? Wow, since that long? Interesting. And then you learn the divinity of that aspect, because definitely the right lacks that intelligence. But then I move on and proceed. So look, whatever you hear on the phone, question it, right? Anything you hear in society, you always get it with a grain of salt. Because I feel like there's too many people right now who are making these videos, who are getting millions and thousands of people, right? And what are they making, you know? And if you've been given a very advanced, sophisticated technology, you know, I recommend that you take advantage of it and see. I mean, if you gave this to Shakespeare, what do you think he'll make? And there are people of his degree and caliber and sophistication of the English language. And I even argue there are people beyond him right now. You know, it's very hard to believe. You know, he's a legend. Of course he's a legend. But if the market's saturated with so much legendary work, you're not going to be able to notice one random person, because chances are that my video won't be selected in the algorithm. And chances are that I'm going to have to fight for every fucking people to watch. Because you started from 1 and now I have 5. I think slowly and little you build up to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You know, and I'm not an outlier in the nature of the product that I'm developing. I'm very, very like... They just say these books that I've read that are very blow my mind only has like 2 views, you know. In Gangnam Style, and the video about Charlie, Put My Finger, right? That has like, I think everybody's seen it now. And just some random dude, and yeah, I just felt I have to get everything in for 15 minutes and just rant. But yeah, I was telling you about Baha'is, you know. The reason why Baha'is, I hesitant because I'm very well, they just say I'm not your usual Baha'i of that you will meet, you know. I'm not, and I'm to the point where, because you know, you could be a follower of Jesus Christ, but not belong to any church. I don't know if you knew that, you know. But you can still be a follower of Jesus Christ, right? You could be a follower of Jesus Christ and even be Hindu, you know. But that's something completely different, where the right intellects will come at me. But that's for another day. Take care. You have a good one. Peace.